Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flix Show. My name is Chris Wong. This is episode 472 of the Ping Pong Flix Show. Quite a day, and I didn't even realize any of this until I got back from work. Today was a busy work day, but managed to catch up with a crazy timeline on Twitter. Lots of DMs, and sorry if I didn't get back to you, but it's been pretty nuts these last few hours for me at least. And yes, some people have mentioned, what is that shirt? Well, this is the Justice League shirt. This is a Justice League shirt I got at Don Quixote. And I'm going to wear this until I actually get the Zack Snyder's Justice League. We'll talk a little bit more about that. First up, Dwayne Johnson. The Rock does another quick update as he's slowly training to, freakishly big levels, which is, I don't know if he's really trying that. It's crazy he's trying that hard. I mean, he's huge already. Like, is there a certain size he's going for, a certain look he's going for? I'm sure anything that he wears is going to be totally ripped apart with that body of his. But The Rock, he puts down new era. I don't know if you can see this. Same game, different levels. Same hell, different devils. Anti-hero training. DC Universe, Black Adam shooting starts this summer. So it's just another reminder that Black Adam is coming. And he's ready to rock. So that's a little bit of Black Adam. Now this is interesting. This is particularly interesting. I don't usually do anything with Crisis on Infinite Earths. I'm kind of just not very happy what they did with Brandon Routh as Superman, even though there's an ending shot of Superman, him, Earth 96, I think, and which I'm pretty okay about. But for the most part, I'm really not into Arrowverse and CW too much. But this did perk my interest, and I'll show you right here. It's almost given away. Ezra Miller, Barry Allen, and Barry Allen. This is not a fan edit. This actually happened on Crisis on Infinite Earths. Check it out.
Hello? What the hell is this?
I'm asking myself the same question. Literally. No, this can't be happening. What are you doing here?
Well, I'll tell you that when you tell me where here is. Is this cosplay? Oh, do you want a selfie, bro? I'm sorry.
We're not. No. I'm also the Flash.
You're also the what?
The Flash?
The Flash? The Flash?
It's complicated.
I like your outfit. It seems
Freaking
comfy.
Yours is pretty cool.
Smooth.
Seems safe and
It's breathable. Found Barry Allen. No! What does that mean? How can this...
This should be impossible now.
It's impossible now?
You don't know about the...
Oh my god, don't do this to me. I don't know about the what. You okay?
I told Victor this was possible.
Okay. So, wow. First of all, we've always heard rumors and saying like, oh, the Crisis on the Infinite Earths, and like almost any Infinite Earths, there's always that little rumor that says, oh, they're gonna get the DCEU in there. I even was like, no, that's never gonna happen. That's never gonna. Don't even think about that's never gonna happen. What happened? And the amazing thing about this is that there's practically no scooper out there who has even caught a little sniff of this. No one knew this was coming. I think even there was an Instagram post where Melissa Benoist, who's plays Supergirl, didn't even know that they shot Ezra. This is a super duper secret, and it came out on Infinite Earths, and it's awesome. It actually got Ezra Miller trending. It got Justice League trending because of the ending scene of Crisis on Infinite Earths. But hey, it's a happy medium. But this is incredible. A few things here. It's campy dialogue. right? But what do you expect from the CW, right? Ezra Miller is the Flash. They really do acknowledge that the DCEU Flash, the DCEU timeline, is a parallel timeline. It is a multiverse universe within, I guess, Warner Brothers DC. So that's cool. That's great. That means that it's very much maybe even set here that they're trying to say that Ezra Miller's Flash is indeed the Flash, and he's indeed the Flash, and Andy Muschietti's the Flash, so he's going to be the Flash for a while. He's set, which is awesome. What I didn't like about it is that it's possible, and this could just be a playful chatter, it not really means anything too much, but it does seem like he got the name The Flash from Grant Gustin's Barry Allen The Flash, right? He's like, the Flash, oh, the Flash. I could be called the Flash. So there is that. So a lot of people may not be happy with that, but it's okay. I think it's just a possibly homage, and it's no big deal. It's just a little scene with Ezra Miller as the Flash. I also like that he mentions Victor a little bit. Victor Stone, Cyborg in it. And so that's cool as well. And that he's able to, maybe he even gets some of this idea of the multiverse from this. Now, will this connect to the bigger, larger DCU picture? I don't know. I don't think so. Yet again, we didn't know this would actually happen. And that's cool. It's almost in a way. The CW is trying to say, hey, this is a little pushy, little putting it in there that, we're kind of alluding to the Snyder Cut here. Maybe. I don't know. But in any case, it's great to see and kind of blown me away. I did not think this at all would ever happen, and they did it. And props to the CW for doing it. Ezra Miller as the Flash having a cameo in a TV show. Major props to them for keeping it a huge secret. Makes you wonder, what else does Warner Brothers have up their sleeves? So this is cool, really cool. And I don't know, we're probably not going to see much more of this, but it's great to see that they acknowledge Ezra Miller as the Flash in the DCU timeline. They also acknowledge that there is that timeline and have a lot of that acknowledgments as well. And so I'm really pretty stoked about this, and I see a lot of people excited. It could even get people excited for Ezra Miller as the Flash, right? And all that stuff about having Barry Allen and Ezra Miller, they're both the Flash. They're Flash in different universe. It's fine. That's great. It just works out. Everybody can have their cake and eat it too. And in that case as well, that means Zack Snyderverse could have we could have the Zack Snyderverse as well. We have our cake and eat it too, right? Well, every parallel universe could exist because this is DC. Utilize it. Utilize DC's, one of the things that DC has is the multiverse. And so different Earths. It's almost like Crisis on Infinite Earths is paving that way for the general public, to the mainstream, to realize that it's okay to have multiple Batmans. It's okay to have multiple Jokers. And it's okay to have multiple Flash. It's okay to multiple Supermans too. And we've already seen it in Crisis on Infinite Earths. They do have multiple Superman in that movie, in that series. So it maybe opens our eyes, opens people up to that point. Even if the Snyderverse comes out on HBO Max, that are like, oh, okay, I get it. That's not connected to it, but it could exist within. They could potentially drop in here and there, depending how they want to do it, and having maybe one day an infinite crisis on many Earths, and we'll have that again, right? But in a bigger budget and a bigger deal. So that's exciting in itself to have that happen. The possibilities just kind of blew up with this little cameo, right? And I believe, if and they're willing to take it further, they very well could. So that's awesome. That's great. Speaking about the Snyder Cut, big drop, like utter sheer just shock value, if you will. I know it's been quiet on the front of the Snyder Cut, but Zack Snyder decided to drop this today. Uxas, however you want to say his name, clearing the defenders of Earth from the anti-life equation. You better look out for David Thewlis, right? And so, notice there, this is finally another look at Uxas, at Darkseid, a young Darkseid taking out enemies, and yes, it's CG, but you taking out enemies, taking out his enemies rather, the defenders of Earth. You know, he's taking out the Themyscirians, the Atlanteans, and also the humans as well. Very awesome, very Lord of the Rings. You know, Sauron taking out all these, the elves and dwarves. You know, it's cool. It's mythic. It's huge. It's epic. Stuff we would love to have seen in the Justice League, which came out to a little short little thing. What was supposed to be a lot bigger. Now, interesting thing he said here is he's better look out for David Thewlis. David Thewlis did play Ares in Wonder Woman, that movie Wonder Woman. Now, we know that Nick McKinless was also cast as a role as Ares. Zack Snyder within the chat, and I don't have it up here, but it's very difficult to scroll through Vero and actually connect conversations together if you've ever tried it. But he did mention that Nick was the body, David was the head. That's how it worked out. That's how they played it. So they're both Ares. One was the body. Nick McKinless was the body of Ares, and David Thewlis was the head. So I thought that was pretty interesting stuff. Other things that we have caught within the chatter, like Kenny brought this one out. He says, Tiago says, wow, sir, Zack Snyder, most haters say you are showing the whole story. I believe we haven't seen anything yet. And Zack Snyder did respond, says, so much more. There's so much more we haven't seen. And I've been saying this. I know he's showing quite a bit. But you notice a lot of stuff he's showing or stuff he's shown before is just extended scenes or a shot of a scene that we've already revealed to us. But there's so much more. There's 3.5 hours of this stuff, and we really scratching the surface. And I think he's really keeping a lot of it in his hip pocket. You know, he's really keeping a lot of his hip pocket. You think today's reveal was big? It is big, but we already know Darkseid, Uxas, whatever you want to call him, was in the history lesson. He's just showing another part of that, another scene of that event, right? We already know that happened, and so it's okay. And for him to say this, saying there's so much more, he's telling us to don't worry. He's not giving away a lot of it. You know quite a bit, but there's so much more of the whole story that you do not realize. So relax. Comic Movie Marks did retweet. Ray Porter did put this out. Seemingly, of course, that's him in the suit. And Zack Snyder does kind of, actually really does confirm that. Jacob Riddle, did Ray do any mocap or just ADR? Zack Snyder says he did motion capture as well. So that confirms that. He did motion capture for Darkseid. Jokes on You asks, has Ray Porter completed all his voicing for Darkseid? And Zack Snyder says yes. So the voiceover is complete. Ray Porter even confirms that, I believe, in one of his comments over here, that as far as you still need to record some lines, Ray. And Ray Porter says, as far as I know, all done. So he's not jumping around that anymore. He's kind of just really confirming, because Zack Snyder has said it's Ray Porter. He pretty much confirms that it is Ray Porter. And I know you're like, of course we know that, but there are some people, some out there who still says, well, he doesn't really confirm Ray Porter or stuff like that. But this finally really just sets the nail in that coffin, that it sets that nail in stone, however you want to say it. Sorry, I'm a little bit cloudy here because I think I'm coming down with the cold. But Ray Porter is indeed Darkseid. He did indeed have all that motion capture, and all the voice work is done. Like, he doesn't need to go back to do anything else, as far as he knows, unless Zack Snyder wants to put anything in there, but I don't think so. I think it's pretty much a done deal in terms of Ray Porter as Darkseid. So that's awesome, and we would love to see this. You know, he did so much work on this thing. We would love to see how it actually turns out, right? A little bit more. Who said no lanterns here, no Kryptonians, this world will fall like all the others? We figured this as much, but he has definitely confirmed it now. Steppenwolf says to decide when reporting back about Earth. So that sets that in deal. Another one that's really interesting. This is from Naveen, but he captured this quote here. Albert Tonikian asks Zack Snyder, "Can you please change Steppenwolf design to BVS design, please?" And Zack Snyder, you know, just did this, and I'm looking at that, and I'm like, well, that's interesting. That indeed tells me something, and tells a lot of people something we've never, we've talked about, and we've kind of just kind of took it back because he's been releasing images of Steppenwolf that looks like the original Steppenwolf. But seeing this now, it kind of makes you want to really just think about that for a second, like saying, well, if he's willing to have he's willing to say that in Zack Snyder's in Zack Snyder's Justice League, Superman will have the black suit, meaning it will be the black suit. Well, can we just also kind of just look at this and say, well, don't worry. In Zack Snyder's Justice League, Steppenwolf will be the BVS design. And if that's true, if he's really just saying, don't worry, he's got his fist in the air, it just makes you much more happier, and just realizing that when he's going to really put a stamp on this movie, it's going to be his movie. He's going to be his design. It's going to be BVS Steppenwolf design, right? Things have changed. I don't know how or why, or I know maybe we know why, because of everything that has happened in terms of the movement, bringing it out into light, and constant, reminding Warner Brothers and Warner Media, the fans, and to release the Snyder Cut, that maybe we've made it happen, right? And somewhere, someone is letting him do this, letting him put a stamp on his movie, and telling him, hey, you're going to get to make that movie you wanted to make, right? And it's going to be your original, compromise, whatever, your 214, this is yours, and it's going to have Superman with the black suit, it's going to have Steppenwolf, the BVS design, it's going to have Darkseid, and it's going to have everything it's supposed to have. The one that he has in his possession is that movie. It's that 214. It's that movie. It's like it's not going to be anything what you've seen in theaters, in that Justice League, right? There's so much in there that's like you wondered if it was his, but it's really not. And we kind of learned that day after day, every time he posts something, and he's willing to answer questions and stuff. Including this one here that I thought was really funny. Timothy Collins says, when Flash says, I never done battle, I just push people and run away. Is that from your cut? Well, this is his answer. What the fuck? So, Zach, man, hey, when your movie finally comes out, man, if you want to, it'd be pretty damn funny. Maybe during SnyderCon or something, let's throw the Justice League up. I know and have a live commentary on what the hell is happening on screen. I mean, that, like, imagine that in a commentary where Flash says that it's Zack, and then you hear Zack's voice like, what the fuck? That'd be so hilarious. And it just more goes to show, like, what really is Zack's movie left in that horrendous Frankenstein of MCU-like movie. I mean, it really it still boggles my mind. But and upsetting as it is, as always, it really, I'm kind of glad it's so different, because it really clearly shows what the studio has done, and then it clearly destroys their narrative of saying that they'll only do a few reshoot scenes, and it's mostly going to be Zack's work and all that stuff, all that bullshit. So I'm really, in hindsight, this is actually good, because imagine if Zack Snyder kept doing it, it would still have been it would have still been partially just really compromised by towards the end, right? With the Justice, like, if I'm glad this is coming out, because now I think he's going to be so proud to be able to put a stamp on his movie. And that's why he's saying Zack Snyder's Justice League. Like, he's proud of it. And I like that. I think we all should love that, for the fact alone that he's getting, and my theory here is, my hypothesis is that he has every 100% going to be able to release that movie how he wants us to see it, without any of that Joss Whedonisms with Jeff Johnisms and stuff in there. It's going to be Zack Snyder's Justice League. What you're going to be getting is 100% Zack Snyder Justice League, and that's what we want. And I feel like we're getting closer to actually getting it. So that's how I look at this in any case, and including with all that thing from the Flash, that it will be acceptable. It's slowly being acceptable by the public. Like, this could be another universe. We don't have to have all these things connect to each other. It's fine. Each director, like yesterday, everybody can have their distinct vision, whether it connects or not. At least these filmmakers, these creators, will be able to get to tell the story they want to tell, without any studio intervention. So I can't wait. Zack Snyder's Justice League. Let's bring it on. I can't wait to see more of this. And hopefully we'll get to see more of this in the actual movie, Zack Snyder's Justice League. Release the Snyder Cut. All right, guys, that is it. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time.